I'm Stacey Holmes, and this is Glordinary, a few moments where we celebrate God's glory and champion the ordinary. I'm glad you're here. I tend to overpack, not on purpose. In fairness, A, I'm a mom, and B, I'm not always sure what outfit's gonna work on any given day. Did I eat pizza the night before? I'm gonna need some comfy pants. Is there gonna be extra cold AC? I might need a sweater. What if I have a hot flash? I better do layers. Did my oldest remember contact solution? Does my youngest have her braces rubber bands? When we go on our hiking trips, let's just say I could basically triage any injury or sickness in the backcountry. Short of amputation, this girl's got you covered, and maybe even then. Shepherds are a little different. I probably couldn't hack it as a shepherd, and I was reminded as much this week for our series, It's a Psalm 23 Kind of Day. I like being prepared, but shepherds, you see, they don't overpack. Long before there were ATVs or gators to transport camping supplies to the high country, a shepherd carried almost nothing. Minimal medicinal aids, a meager meal, a rod, a staff, and maybe a slingshot. I'm not going to say that if you're stranded, you'd be better off with me, but at no time am I without 3 to 5 protein bars in my purse, so you do the math. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me, it says in Psalm 23:4. A rod and a staff. No like trail mix or Tylenol. We're just going with the rod and staff then, huh? All right, well, I guess we better find out what this is all about. A shepherd's rod is the ultimate in custom design. Think of it like the Etsy of Bible days. Each one specially chosen, specifically suited to the individual shepherd. A short, club-like tool carved from a tree root. It's shaped into a ball on top, fitted specifically to the shepherd's palm, the exact palm. That's kind of impressive. Hours and hours spent practicing with the rod for speed and accuracy, a weapon to defend both himself and his beloved sheep, not if, but when the moment arises. Throughout Scripture, we see shepherds carrying a rod, basically like an extension of their right arm. And no, not because I amputated the actual arm. My gag reflex couldn't handle anything like that. He would use the rod, though, to prod a pokey sheep and protect it from predators like wild animals or snakes. Gross. When a sheep wandered, the shepherd would send that rod whizzing through the air, kind of like playing cornhole, and it would land just to the side of the path, which would stun the sheep back onto course. And while the rod serves to protect and defend, to correct and rescue at times, I'm drawn to one specific purpose of the rod: counting. Maybe because I'm a light sleeper familiar with counting sheep myself, but a shepherd would use the rod to count the sheep and examine them thoroughly. Let me paint this picture for you. You see, when sheep are corralled, even if it is like a crude, makeshift, middle-of-a-field pen, as they enter into it, the sheep will pass under the shepherd's rod. Can't you just hear like the limbo music? Da 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 da. And like a limbo bar, the sheep enter into the pen. But this method isn't just to break the boring and bring the fun. No, the sheep are carefully checked over as the shepherd parts the fleece, searching the body for any signs of distress or trouble. It's referred to as passing under the rod. They should have gone with limbo. That was a swing and a miss. But we see this passing, quote, under the rod, described in Ezekiel 20, verse 37. And it says, I will take note of you as you pass under my rod, and I will bring you into the bond of covenant. When a sheep passed under the rod, it was accounted for, it belonged, and it was checked with great care to be sure that all was well. If you recall, their wool is like Velcro, picking up all manner of prickers and critters, disease, and wounds. It's a most exposing process down to the smallest of details. Yet this shepherd's scan identifies any hidden problems lying dormant or undetected, bare before the shepherd. Even in this place of vulnerability, the shepherd's examination brings comfort to the sheep. It's why David can say, "Your rod, it comforts me." When a sheep passes under the rod, she knows she belongs, she's accounted for, and she's been scanned for disease, wounds, or irritants, because the shepherd always works for her good. But the shepherd packs another item with his bare necessities, a staff. No other profession uses a shepherd's staff, and no other animal benefits like a sheep from a shepherd's staff. It's longer and thinner than a rod. It's a basic walking stick with a hook on the end of it. You've seen these. They're opposite in appearance and function to the rod. And while the rod protects against predators and disease and stubbornness, the staff shows a softer side, a comforting side, always swooping and sweeping a sheep closer to himself. We first see the shepherd's staff at the birth of a newborn lamb. A quick maneuvering of the staff will scoop the newborn lamb to its mother's side without transferring any of the shepherd's scent, which would cause a mama lamb to reject her young. The staff is also used to swoop young and old alike, gathering them closer to himself. This is especially useful for a timid sheep who ordinarily would keep her distance. When a sheep begins to veer or lose their way, the shepherd uses his staff, applying gentle pressure to the sheep's side and holding it there to guide her along the way. This reassures the sheep that she's on the right path. It reminds me of Isaiah 30, verse 21, which says, "Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" The staff is also used as a rescue device to bring a sheep back to himself. And whether a sheep falls down an embankment into a water supply or simply lands themselves stuck by their own stupidity, yep, I can relate to that, the shepherd's staff lifts the sheep back onto the path, out of the water, away from danger. Sheep are also prone to getting stuck in prickers and brambles due to their wool, and the more they struggle to free themselves, the more the wool catches. A shepherd's staff will free the entangled sheep, drawing her in ever closer, again and again. And maybe that's you today. Maybe it's me too. Maybe we're so entangled and weighed down with our own overpacked baggage, overpacked life, overpacked thoughts, and overpacked everything. Maybe we can't discern our next right step because the what-ifs are deafening. We're terrified to get stuck, terrified to try, terrified to fail. And whether we've lost our way, our hope, our health, our minds for a moment, rest assured, we're not alone in this. The Good Shepherd packed all he'd need to perfectly and completely care for you and for me. So what could we unpack today? Take heart, my friend. He's packed his rod and staff to protect and provide, to rescue and redeem, to deliver and disentangle. Your rod and staff, they comfort me. Wherever you are and whatever you're facing, remember, you're not alone in this. I'm praying for you, friend. Have a glordinary day.